And as you just watched there, we have Joy's blessing in the house. And, one of my favorite songs of hers is I Swerve. And she will be here later in the show. We'll have some great time. But also, we have to tell you about our discussion point this morning on the relationship segment, DIAM, and we have a story. We'll bring that story to you. But before we do that, we also have 4 of our colleagues who are going to be participating because they've been nominated for the West African Media Excellence Awards. And we have our own joint users, Seth Kwame Boateng, Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah, Justice Beidu, and Beryl Ernestina Richter. And I tell you, the 4 of them, Seth, Justice, Kwesi Deborah, and Beryl, are 4 of 21 finalists who have been nominated as some of the best journalists we have across some 15 countries in the West African sub-region in the Wameka Awards. And the Wameka Awards will be taking place just tomorrow. So make sure that you stick and stay with us. We'll bring you what you need to know about who won and whether Seth, we have Beryl, and Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah, Justice, all got to win their various respective nominations as the awardees. Well, in the meantime also, I have to bring back that conversation through info@myjournline.com. We got a story, and also we have a WhatsApp platform now, and just after this you can also send us more of your stories, your experiences in your relationship or your marital journey, and let's get to know what you think, what you've experienced so far, and the counseling or perhaps the discussion that you want us to start with your experiences. And on our WhatsApp platform we have 0540 10 909. Okay, so please send us more of your messages as well through the WhatsApp platform right on your screens. But we have to take you to the Upper East region. And Albert Sorry has been monitoring days of flooding as hundreds of residents and communities or homes have been displaced. It's because victims so far have taken shelter at an area council building in one of the areas where we've had the flooding taking place. And consistently, we go to some of the communities in Manyoro, in the Katsina Nankana West district of the region, where we're being told that at least some 28 people have now been declared dead, 19 injured, and thousands left homeless after their houses collapsed following torrential rains this month. Look, it's been covered widely, not only by Joy News, but also by the BBC, elsewhere across the continent. It's become topical. And though government officials as well as the Red Cross and NADMO have been touring parts of the areas affected, aid so far, according to what Albert Sorry, our correspondent, is reporting, is yet to arrive for the victims to get some relief. We're hoping that subsequently, well, when we do this, we will have some relief being sent to the victims or those who have been displaced. Already 28 people dead. That's a massive number. That's where we have to transition and bring in our own Albert Sorry, our Upper East regional correspondent. And we'll get to have some of the highlights and what he's been able to find on the ground and what we also need to do by way of media. And we're going to launch an appeal today. And please, if you have something to give these displaced residents in some of those communities in the Upper East region, we're using the AM show to launch an appeal today. And please appeal to the victims or those who have been displaced in the flooding in some of those affected areas. And we'll have Albert Sorry on the line. And when we have him, we will ask him some of the pertinent questions that need to be asked. And already, yeah, we've worked the lines. He's on. Good morning to you, Albert Sorry. And the story is still the same, or we've had some improvement so far. What can you tell us?
Roland, not much has changed this morning. Aid is yet to arrive for these displaced residents at Manyoro, where these people are sleeping in a building that belongs to the area council. The building was not in use, and so when the disaster happened and these people lost their homes, the assemblyman of the area worked together with the district assembly to keep, give these people shelter inside this building.
And I was listening to you on the BBC this morning, and your narration also just continued with what you had been telling us throughout the rest of yesterday about how perhaps some of the residents were not coping quite well, especially in their displaced position. At what point in time then do we need a NADMO that needs to come in? Because it looks like it's almost too late in the day, isn't it?
Yes, so these people moved into this building on Sunday. Some of them, the first people started arriving at this building on Sunday. And as of yesterday, when we were speaking to them, up to 20 families, women and their children, and then a few men were staying here. Now, one of the things that is happening is that, this is not their home, and they've lost most of their property to the flood. So what they are doing essentially is to just manage, because they've borrowed mats from people who live in the community around the building, and these mats are not even enough. So the children sleep on the mats. The women who are there spread their cloths on the floors and sleep, and then the men just sleep on the bare floor. With food, the little that they have, they manage, and they give priority to their kids. Yesterday, we spoke to some of them who were actually even breastfeeding their children while they were there. So it's a situation where the adults are, trying to make sure that their young ones survive, and then they themselves just manage to get by. They beg for food from the people around as well. Some people come there to visit them, and when they see their plight, they give them some food. And they told us that this was not even enough. Now, you see that NADMO and Red Cross, and yesterday some government officials, the Northern Regional Minister, who is currently acting as the Upper East Regional Minister, because the regional minister here is currently on leave, was at the place, and they've sort of giving these people hopes that aid will soon come. But as we speak now, they are still going around and looking at the number of people who have been displaced, and then they can send the information to the national level for aid to come. So based on how what they are telling us in terms of how soon the aid will arrive, it doesn't look like even today help will come, but we're waiting to see what happens as the days go by.
I remember back in the mid-2000s and subsequently the early 2000s, and just the last couple of years when they've been flooding some of the areas in the region, you get to find that the residents, in terms of the houses or the households, are very much apart, or the communities are very much apart. And doesn't mean, even though we don't have an aerial shot of the situation as it happened, that we're talking about large acreages or swath of land that got flooded.
Exactly so. Now, this one in particular, at least 4 districts in the Upper East region are affected. And it makes it also even difficult for, if you decide to check the situation for yourself as an individual, it makes it even difficult for you to do that. And so yesterday I had to go around with Red Cross, who were visiting some of these people. And so I took advantage of, their access to some of these places. And then I was able to see these people for myself. Yeah. Now, they are dotted in 4 districts in different communities. So that is why up to now, even NADMO is not able to tell us exactly how many people, because they say the figures they are giving us is still an ongoing count. And so that is the situation. There are farms which have been destroyed, but also the major thing this time that has happened is their homes have also collapsed. You know, last year when we had flood, most of the things that were affected were farmlands which were submerged in water. But this time, their homes have given way because these are mud buildings, you know, that are not so strong. So the consistent rains and the how heavily they come sort of weakened the buildings. And so most of them have collapsed. You also have some bridges in the Busa North, for instance. We had a situation where a bridge has almost been washed away. So that is just the picture. And NADMO is still saying that they are collecting figures. Even the regional minister that we met yesterday, together with the district chief executive for Katsina Nankana Municipal, are saying that they are still in the communities and they are collecting information and they are looking at, you know, how many people, you know, they can get aid for as soon as possible.
And just the last question before you go, how is this sharply linked to if there was or supposed to be the opening of the Bagri Dam? Is it in the way in any way?
But the information I have yesterday, Bagri Dam had not been opened
yet. It's not been opened yet.
Yes, what they are saying is that the dam is gradually getting to its maximum level, and it hasn't gotten there yet. But what we know usually from last year, the discussions were ongoing between the Ghanaian government and the Burkinabe authorities to, you know, impress on them to not wait until the dam reaches its maximum capacity before they start spilling. So the expectation is that by now they are spilling the water in bits, you know. So even if they are doing that now, it means that the water from the Bagri Dam is not having an impact. This is just a situation of heavy rain.
Just normal torrential rain.
Yes.
Okay. Usually in the past or in the recent past, we would have seen the Ministry of the Interior using helicopters to try to undertake some reconnaissance missions to have a proper assessment. Has that been done?
As far as my tour of the areas are concerned, I haven't seen anything like that yet. In fact, the regional minister and his officials who came there yesterday came in their official government vehicles. They did not use a helicopter, and I haven't seen that yet. So that's what I can say on that.
Well, thank you very much. And Albert, sorry, please keep monitoring the situation for us. We'll get to you on regular programming on the channel on this subject. Albert, sorry, is our Upper East regional correspondent. And for the victims, we're opening the opportunity for anybody located in Ghana who wants to donate to these victims in the Katsina Nankana district. And we will be happy to receive them, especially in the Upper East region. Albert Sorry will be your contact person, and let also get to acknowledge the efforts by way of the empathy or the sympathies for these victims or the displaced residents in some of these 4 districts, we're told, and we'll get to that in a bit. But we also will be having on the show Joyce Blessing, and Joyce Blessing is one of the most inroad-making gospel musicians currently on the scene in our country. We're going to have her. She is going to enlighten us with some great renditions of on her repertoire. And then also we'll tell you about our relationship segment today. Yeah, you can see Joyce Blessing. Very beautiful, but also very talented gospel artist. Look, she's right here on the show. And then also, we're bringing to you our story on the DIAM segment. It's our relationship segment, and through info@myjoyonline.com, info@myjoyonline.com, and then also through WhatsApp number. And through that platform, you can send us more of your experiences in your courtship, in your marriage, and let us know. It's 0540 10 909. let us get to hear or from you. And well, we'll play the story for you.